Hello, welcome or welcome back. So I've come up with a way to stop the infinite scroll. So in this video, I want to show you the method that I've been using for a while now to make life so much fun it feels weird to scroll. But before we get into that system, I want to show you the best explanation that I think exists on the internet for why we can't stop scrolling. There is a really simple but tragic and somewhat parasitic reason to why we can't stop scrolling, and I think it'd be cool to share it with you. Gen Z on average will spend 6 hours scrolling on their phone today. Now that sounds like a lot of time, because it is. To put it into perspective for you, 6 hours is 1/4 of your day, which means it's 1/4 of your life, which also means that every 4 years you'll give one entire year of your life to this glowing rectangle, which is just crazy when you think about it that way. And while these are just scary, disgusting numbers, it's important to realize that Gen Z is still asleep for 7 hours on average each night, which means that there's 11 hours of every day where we're not on our phones scrolling, we're doing other stuff like working, studying, cleaning, exercising, socializing, running errands. It's not like we're on our phones all day, every single day. If you imagined all the time you have in the day is a container, with scrolling being a water hose that fills up the container with water, it's not like the container is full of water, right? In reality, you have sand that goes into the container first. Things that you have to do, need to do, and want to do. And since scrolling is such a low resistance, high reward, and convenient activity to do, it's like water. It goes into the container and it flows around all the more important things in our lives to fill up the gaps. For example, no one is taking their phone into an exam to scroll halfway through. Like, I know it's an extreme example, but it really drives home the point. When you have something that's more important, there isn't any temptation to scroll. Now let's attack this from a different perspective. Take the hunter-gatherers in the Kalahari Desert in southern Africa. They typically spend their days 6 hours working, 8 hours of sleep, and then 10 hours of leisure. This is how we have spent our days for 96% of human history. We have always done what we need to do, and then we rest for the rest of the day. For hunter-gatherers, the most convenient thing to do with our leisure time is to socialize with our friends. But for us, it's scrolling on our phones. So here's what I want you to take away from this. We scroll because there's nothing more important or more appealing to do at that moment. But don't think that you should just go watch one of those 99 things to do instead of scrolling videos, because they don't work. They fucking suck. And this is the reason why. You are not the same person at all stages of the day. The person that got up this morning is not the same person at lunch, and it's not the same person that's going to go to bed tonight. So what this means is, because you are different, what you want is different. And I came to this realization after I tried to run an experiment with scrolling for the last couple of months, and I failed quite badly. I tried to replace my scrolling time with reading time because there's so many books that I want to read. And it didn't work, because reading to me requires a lot of effort and a lot of focus. It feels like work. But scrolling is the complete opposite. It's the most passive, high reward thing that you can do. So most days I was able to drive my scrolling time basically down to 0. But I wasn't able to replace it with reading. Instead, what I would do is I'll go outside and I practice my golf swing, or I'll watch a YouTube video, or I'll listen to a podcast, or I would even take a nap. So reading and scrolling just wasn't a like-for-like replacement, because reading feels like work and scrolling doesn't. The bottom line that I'm trying to get across with this anecdote is, we are different people at different times of the day. So if you want to stop scrolling, you need to work out what that person wants and give it to them. And I'll show you how. Throughout the day, you go through what neuroscientists call phases. They are the ebbs and flows of your state, energy, and mood. And there are 3 phases in particular that we all go through. There's phase 1, which is the first 8 hours after waking. Neurochemicals like dopamine, norepinephrine, and cortisol are highest in the first 8 hours of the day. And this is where you're going to be most focused, alert, and productive. Then there's phase 2, which is from 9 to 16 hours after waking. And this is where serotonin starts to rise, putting you into a more restful and creative state. And then you have phase 3, which is 17 to 24 hours after waking. This is where adenosine begins to build up in the brain, causing sleep pressure and making you fall asleep for rest and recovery. And we see these exact phases in hunter-gatherer tribes around the world too. The morning is for working, the afternoons is for leisure, and the nights are for sleep. So to make life so much fun it feels weird to scroll, we want to work with our biology instead of fighting against it. And the first step to do that is identify the states that you move through throughout the day. So what you're seeing on screen here is a concept I call a water map. It's basically showing you an example of what my day looks like from when I wake up in the morning to when I go to sleep. The land represents the different activities I do throughout the day, and the water around the land shows you the times where I am more likely to scroll. So you can see that as I move throughout the day, I start to get more distracted and I'm more likely to scroll because there's less land. You can even draw your own water map, and I suggest doing this because I think it's a cool exercise to do for a couple different reasons. One, it's just fun and different. Two, it'll get you to recognize your scrolling habits, and once you know what your scrolling habits are, you can work to replace it with other activities that you want to do more that are more appealing. And it also will get you to recognize your natural flow throughout the day, so you're not fighting yourself. If you decide to do this, when you have a water map that looks like mine, you can mark on the water map the different changes your energy goes through throughout the day, or the state changes. So when you go from like high energy to low energy or back to high. For example, my phases looks kind of like this. I'm most alert, focused, and energetic when I wake up in the morning to about lunchtime. I then go through a midday slump after lunch, but then I get a boost in energy in the late afternoon, another dip in energy after dinner, and then a creative burst just before I go to bed, which is kind of annoying. And then obviously I go to sleep. These state changes that you go through are your phases. And it's important to note that while there are some commonalities between person and person, everyone's phases are going to be different. So it's important to find your own unique flow. Once you have your phases marked out on your water map, you can give it a name and then set a theme for it. So I like to divide my day into 5 phases in particular. The first is build, where I do my deep work on building my projects. I then have a rest, which is basically a midday break. I go do some maintenance work, which is basically just less intensive shallow work. I have a release phase where I allow myself some free time to rest and do what I want. And then there's an empty phase where I close down for the day and get ready for sleep. So you can see how each phase just naturally flows on from one to another. Okay, so now that we're in the second step, we're going to focus on when we scroll, why we scroll, and what we can replace scrolling with that's specific to the phase we're in at that time of day. And I'll give you some examples using my 5 phases throughout the day, starting with build. On a normal average day, I have zero temptation to scroll on my phone in the mornings because there's just other stuff I want to do. I want to go for a walk and then sit down at my desk to do my work. Like, it's just what I want to do. But on the day after Christmas, Boxing Day, I was down at my mum's place and I wasn't able to do my work as I normally would. Without having a clear direction to put this focused energy that I had, it just defaulted to the easiest thing to do, which was scrolling. And I believe this to be true. If you are scrolling on your phone first thing in the morning, it's because you don't have a project that you actually want to pour yourself into. And once you do have a project that you want to pour yourself into, it makes all of this just way easier. I generally conclude the build phase of my day with a gym session. And I noticed that after the gym session, I am somewhat likely to scroll because I'm in this tired, depleted, and just in between state. I worked out if I just lean into that state and do a non-sleep deep rest, which is NSDR, I can come through the other side and then be ready to get back into work. Now, if you're not familiar with NSDR, just look it up on YouTube. It's popularized by Andrew Huberman. I mean, you'll find it. So the next phase is maintain. And my mind isn't as sharp in the afternoons as it is in the morning. So if I give myself really hard, intensive work, it's sometimes possible that I just default to like easier things to do, like scrolling on my phone. So what I do instead is I give myself the lower cognitive tasks to do, like video editing, some graphics, a little bit of researching and outlining. And that works pretty well. I then move into the release phase, which is around about evening time at this point, and my mind is in this distracted, open, and higher energy state where I'm not good for work, honestly. This is where I would do most of my scrolling normally. And as I mentioned before, I tried to replace this time with reading, and that didn't work because I'm just not in the right state of mind to read. What I've decided to do instead is to do some light exercise and go practice my golf swing, because that's a project that I'm working on at the moment, or just to lean into the state that I'm feeling by watching an interesting YouTube video or listening to an interesting podcast, because I don't see consuming content as the enemy. I don't see screen time as the enemy. YouTube has changed my life on more than one occasion. I think the true enemy is scrolling without intention for hours upon hours because you don't have anything better to do. After the release phase, I move into the empty phase. And I learned something new last week, and that's our brain has a spike in alertness and energy about 90 minutes before we're ready to go to sleep. And this makes so much sense because I would normally spend that time scrolling on my phone. But I'm now learning that if I wait out that 90 minutes by dumping what's on my mind in mind mapping or brain dumping, I'm able to wait out that 90 minutes and then get to sleep a lot easier. So the takeaway for step 2 is to work out what you want at different stages of the day and then find ways to give it to yourself. Okay, so step 3 addresses the most difficult part of the day. And I think I can speak for both of us here that the hardest part of the day is transitioning from one thing to another thing. Because once you're in something, it's easy to just keep going with it. It's starting that's hard. That's why we procrastinate so much. And this happens because often our body and mind are not in the same place. So it's really helpful to have a non-negotiable anchor activity that you can do that changes your state and gets you prepared to do the next thing. So I'll give you some examples that I've been experimenting with lately. A cold shower to quick start the build phase, an NSDR to reset, practicing golf to transition to the release phase, and light reading to transition to the empty phase. So if we put the water map together with phases, states, rough time, land, and anchors, and then we turned it into a list, you'll get a daily structure that will look something like this. I'm not going to read through this because it's not a great use of time, so you can pause here and read through it yourself. If you haven't noticed already, everything I do in these phases is somewhat related to the projects that I'm building, because these projects give me something to hunt. They give me something to work on that I want to do more than scroll on my phone. And that's the bottom line here. You need to have things that you want to do more than scroll. So if you want to learn how to turn a project into a hunt that's going to make you way more motivated and stop you from scrolling, you can watch this video next. As always, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Keep building, and I'll see you in the next video.